All right. Okay, great. Sorry about all this delay. Okay. So I thought I will do two things with you today. One, I will show you a feel of it. Let's say, if a teacher goes in to LP Plus, how does his or her day looks like? So we will just step through that, number one. Then the second thing I wanted to do was to step you through the process, these actual steps that you have to execute at any customer site where you will have to deploy this. Okay, so basically two sections I wanted to cover. Now, I can cover either of them first. Which one would you like first? Should I go through a quick demo or should I go through a deployment steps of how to deploy this? Dem okay, Oh, okay, so we'll first go through the deployment steps and then we will go through the short or quick demo. I know there's a little bit of difference, disturbance, so may I suggest just stay on mute, but don't hesitate to come off the mute and ask a question. So this is more of getting you enabled to do this, right? So um, as soon as you have any question, you please stop me. Okay? Okay, so what you're seeing in front of you is a Word document with the deployment steps. So we have built it in a style of a workbook. Okay, so that's why we're calling it a, setup workbook. And if you look at the abstract, I've explained that this is basically all the steps you need to stand up first Office 365 and then on top of Office 365, deploy or put LP Plus app. Okay. Now, there may be situations where the schools, the customers you go to already have Office 365. If they already have Office 365, the first few steps will be not needed, and I'll point out to you. Okay. Uh, can I just request you to please everybody put on mute unless you have a question? Okay, let's make the screen a little bigger. I'll lose the ribbon here. Are you able to see the page 2 on my screen, a table? Okay, so that's the first step. So we need to clearly have this picture in our mind that LP Plus sits on top of Office 365. So this first step, step number 1.1, basically tells you how to get Office 365 for education tenant for your customer. Now, you can go to this link which I've given here. Okay, and in this link then you go to the page, and on the screen capture part of the table on this page where I'm moving the mouse, can you see my mouse moving? Okay, excellent. So this is what you have to fill up. So there are steps, just follow what it information it needs. So first you will come to this page, the one which says education plans and pricing, and then it will be a detailed page. You will fill that up. Okay. And like I said before, if the customer already has a deployed tenant, step number 1.1 is not needed. In fact, step one would not be needed. Okay, and I'll keep repeating it just to remind you. So, apology, I'll be repeating a lot of things, but repetition always helps to learn. Okay, so then I'm moving to next step, step number 1.2. When you do have a customer which is a greenfield, doesn't have Office 365 tenant, do not think you cannot deploy the LP Plus solution. So you need to stand up using this step one, the free tenant for the customer. So step number 1.2 takes a step for further. It asks you and steps you through the domain verification of the customer. Now, why is domain verification required? Microsoft provides Office 365 education online services free to qualified institutes. So the way to start them is like I showed you, download for 30 days trial. And when you put their domain name here, that is, let's say school1.edu.id for Indonesia, this will help you to, uh, uh, share with us that this is an education tenant, this is a valid education customer. Okay, but take note of one point. The step number 2 and 3, the numbers 2 and 3 which are on the screen, when you start, you don't have to do immediately. You have 30 days to do this. So you may decide to do your LP Plus installation with I will verify later choice. So there is a choice here which says I will verify later. You have to verify it within 30 days. Before 30 days, you can proceed with the installation and standing up of Office 365 tenant and also injection or installation or deployment of LP Plus app. Okay. So this is self-explanatory, but still I just want to make you aware of the step. Then the next screen will be this, which puts basically the recovery items like a recovery email or recovery phone number, because the passwords that you are putting, and where are you putting the password? I'm going to move the screen slowly. You will be putting the password in this initial step. You could forget it or lose it. So again, this step where I'm moving the mouse up and down is not mandatory, but it is a good practice. Okay, I'm moving to step 1.3. Okay, now step 1.3 says that it is for uh, pre-boarding the users. Now, before you can get to the end outcome of LP Plus and having the classes out there and so on, you have to have users onboarded onto Office 365. Okay, so step 1.3 explains you how you can get users. Now here the users I've shown you are demo users, just to give you an idea or to show you. Okay, okay. Now I have shown about 7 users here, but in a real school, in a real situation, there may be 50, 100 or more. So it may not be practical to keep using add user and add so many users. So what I've done, I've given you a file called userupload.txt, and let me show you that file. Give me one moment, which is basically a format, and you can use this more command import multiple users, and that will ask you for a file. But in that file, obviously, you have to put your customer or school's student names. Okay, so let me quickly show you the format before I move on. One moment. So I'm just pulling out the format. Not here. Just 1 second. All right, I got it. Oh man, just open this file. Subject. Sorry, just give me one moment. Oops, sorry. Just I have to pull this. Okay, almost there. Okay, sorry about the delay. So you can see this notepad file on your screen. Yes, it is actually a text format with comma separations. Yes. So this is the user upload text. So what you will do is in your customer place, you'll be actually putting student names here. And here you will be putting the domain that you set up during the um, tenant stand up process in step 1.1. In 1.1, when you create a Office 365 tenant, you will be choosing a domain name, and that domain name will come here. Got it? Are you okay? Excellent. So I'll dismiss this. Now, after you have executed step number 1.3, you will have users populated inside the Office 365. So that's the user pre-boarding. Okay. Again, if you go to a school where Office 365 deployment and user pre-boarding is already done, then you have saved this step. So you don't need this. Okay. Again, in a new place where this all has not been done, you will do step 1.4 as well, which is basically providing or assigning licenses to users. So again, if there are, let's say, 100, 500,000 students for which you are trying to do this, you would not be able to, I mean, it will not be practical to do it one by one. So there are two files I'm providing, users licenses.csv and a PowerShell file called licenseassign.ps1. So again, they have to be edited for the information. All right, let me show you the format of both the files. There you go. So this is a CSV file for license. Again, you'll be replacing the names and the domain names with the actual names for your installation. You okay? And this is the license. So you notice some of them are faculty here and some of them are student. So you will be putting the appropriate license names for the students and for the faculty, and then you will be using this PowerShell scripts. Do you know how to connect to a tenant and use a PowerShell script? Excellent. So you run this script, it will connect to the Microsoft Online service. It will allow you to put the password, and then it will from the .csv file. You see this file, which I already showed you the format. It will loop through the users and it will assign automatically license. So the step of assigning license to 500,000 or more students will become much easier. Okay. I'll move on. So this once this step one is completed, this 1.4 is completed, you will get licenses showing up in the admin console like this. Uh, then step number 1.5, I just want you to confirm that all these services are running, especially when the tenant is new. You've started a new tenant for that customer. It may take some time before all these services are up and running. Okay, so before you start with LP Plus in the further steps, just make sure that all these Office 365 services are up and running. So far, so good. Okay, now I'm coming to step number 2. Okay, step number 2 is actually going and getting the LP Plus free classroom app. Now, when you go to the Windows Store, again, the URL is here. Okay, you will find there are two apps, one free and other is the paid app, the app with the larger capacity of keeping students, of getting students. So typically this document has been built with the free app first. So because we are talking about a POC, we are talking about a trial, we are talking about giving customer a flavor of the solution. All right. So you go here, you see this there, you search for LP Plus 365, the app will show up. This is a screenshot I've shown you. Then you go ahead and do the add. Okay. When you will add this app from the store, it will switch to Office 365. So one caveat here is you must use the in private browser for this step. Because what happens in some devices, the student may have logged in, to the network with the identity, and the browsers may be having the token from their non-Office 365 identity. So you can use any browser you like. Okay, it is across a browser app. It will work, but just make sure you use incognito window or in private window um, uh, in whichever browser you choose. Okay, so when you say continue, it will switch, the browser will switch to the login screen for Office 365, and you will need admin credentials first time because you are installing an app in Office 365, a tenant of that school. Okay, so first time when you do that, LP Plus will ask for permission to all these resources. I know it's too small to read. Let me make it big for you. Okay, it's clearer now. So LP Plus accesses many services within Office 365 tenant. Mailboxes, metadata, site collection, SharePoint, profile of the users, lists and in the site collections, directory, data directory, and so on. Okay, so it will ask you first time permission from the admin to be allowed to access all that information which is private to that customer. Okay, remember by this time you have either already added the usernames and details, or it was all the tenant was already in place, so the information of customer is there. So far so good. uh, Excellent, excellent. So I'm moving to 2.5 if there is no question at the moment. Okay, so at this point you will get a registration screen from LP Plus. So the app has injected itself, and it is just registering and pretty taking the details to keep in the LP Plus system. All right. Once you do that successfully, you will see that small screen on the top. This one, I'm going to highlight it. This one, and launch the app. So once you launch the app, just one moment. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let me know. Okay. Once you launch the app, the uh, the personal dashboard of LP Plus will show up. The blue tiles here, where I'm circling the mouse. Okay, this means the app has injected itself successfully. Okay, this also means obviously that your Office 365 tenant setup is all okay. But this also means at this moment there are no classes. It's only the app has got injected into this example, My School One. Okay, so the next step, step number three. Now we are going to configure LP Plus 365 app for the classroom. Okay, so what that involves is creating classes, creating membership of the classes, which teacher owns which class, which students are in which class, and so on. Okay, so step 3.1, as you see on the screen, from the gear icon here, follow my mouse, you pull it down, you provision the learning group. So a class is basically same thing as what is called as the learning group. Okay, when you do that, you will come to the step number 3.2. Okay, you will see the screen, and I've also put the narration here very clearly. So read this narration once all the files are selected. Okay, so first step is to go and uh, upload 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me repeat. You will upload staff list, you will upload students list, subjects list, class list, and then the last two files will be class teacher mapping and class to student mapping. So class to teacher and class to student. These six files are here. You see the six files? I have I will also give you the soft copy, excuse me, of all these files. So this is the example of the staff file. Sorry, not this one. This is a license allocation. This is the copy of the staff list. So basically, email name, forename, preferred surname, preferred phoneme, staff code, date of birth, etc. And we also have an example of the dummy demo identity. So before you do this step, in fact, during this step 3.2, this file will have to be populated by the staff list of the school in Indonesia, whichever school you are going and deploy to. Okay, so typically all these files, of course, except the PowerShell script, very short one I showed you, you need to edit with your data. Okay, that customers data. Do you want to see students list also? I will just fire up and show you. This is the student almost similar. Basically, just follow this. So student name will change, domain name will change, of course, date of birth, admission numbers, etc. will be from the school specific information. Okay. Now, next I will show you the subject. Close the program. Okay, so okay. Let me open that before I answer that question. Okay, so now the admission number and UPN is user, I think, principal number. Basically, they are two distinct unique numbers. Now, you may not have exact equivalent of this in Indonesian school. Okay, maybe you will have only one, or you will have slightly different for both. Uh, my suggestion is keep the heading same. And if they have an admission number and something else number, for example, enrollment or matriculation, keep the heading as UPN but put it under UPN. Okay, so basically, yeah, okay, okay. So don't leave it blank. You must put with the number. So the combination is unique, Pansari, right? The combination must be unique, right? Okay, thanks for sharing that. So individually they must be unique and don't leave blank. If the school doesn't have a concept of UPN, then I think just generate your unique number and put it there. Okay, this would be used by the LP Plus application software, the app software, to do the cross referencing. Okay, so don't leave it blank and put it there. Okay, I'm also going to show I showed you staff, student, subject. And then I'll show you the mapping mails also. That is slightly different. So subject is much straightforward, name and a code. So again, like Mansri shared, the code will have to be unique for each line. Okay, let me get rid of this file and open the mapping file for you. Just a few seconds. Okay, gone. All right. So next I will show you the class teacher mapping. Okay, this is fairly straightforward. So it has a class and a staff code. If you remember in the staff file, there was a staff code. Okay, so that's basically used here to connect or map between the class construct and the staff or the user identity. Okay, make sense? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. All right, let's keep moving. So every time you click on that, like staff, and then you browse, get the file wherever the file is, and I'm going to give you all the six soft copies I showed you. So you have to just edit one, two, three, four, five, six. Once you have done this to both all the six files, and every time you read, the data found will be shown here. And I believe there is a sanity or integrity check which LP Plus app does as you do the browsing and uploading. Okay. Now, once that is done, and I'm written in the step notes, once all the files are selected, upload button on the top corner screen will light up in the orange box here. Until you load all the files without errors, this button will not light up. Okay, so once this is light up, means all good. It's a feedback that all the process, all the information is correctly formatted and so on. Okay, you hit the button and then it will take some time. It will give you, in process, there'll be some dots coming up, which is LP Plus way of showing that the process is being executed in the cloud. Okay, and after the successful completion, it will show a summary of the upload that has been executed. So in this example, two staff were uploaded, information about them. Five students were there and they were organized into two subjects. Okay. Okay, so far so good. I keep moving to step number 3.3. Uh, any questions? All right, excellent. So as you see in step 3.3, after the successful process which we just saw, then you will be seeing the classes. So in this sample data, we had two classes and science and English set one show up on the left of the uh, personal dashboard. Okay. Okay. Now, once that is done, we have finished step number three now. We have prepared all now LP Plus for production work, for studying, teaching, and learning work. Okay. Step number four is just a few steps. It's not really a step, but it shows you what will be the experience. So the user experience when he or she, and again, user means both a teacher and student, when they log on first time to LP Plus 365 for classroom, what will they see? So they will go to URL I highlighted here for logging in. They will log in with their credentials. These login and credentials are from Office 365 tenant. So again, a quick word. If the tenant is already up and running and Office 365 is being used, they would probably have it already. If you have stood up a brand new trial tenant, then after the user onboarding, there has to be a communication from the administrators whom you are working with in the school to the individual students. Okay, that hey, this is your login and this is your credential. So the user at step 4.1 will use that login and credential, and this when they go to the URL we have put on the screen here, which will be in the book, and you will be having this document with you. Okay, and this has been fashioned in a workbook style. So on the right column, if you face any issues, if you have any observation, you can keep noting down for that school. And I'll encourage you to put the school name here, contact IT admin contact or whoever you are working with, and so on. Okay, so let's go to 4.2. So this user, when first time login, this user also will be asked for permission. So now this is a permission of the similar data set, data items um, for individual users, because the app is going to touch and use the information of individual users and show it to them. So Before it can access it is required to take permission from the user only one time. This will not happen with every login every time. Okay, so you can see here OneNote profile is his SharePoint, his calendar. So the app is asking permission to be able to access all that data to cover the privacy angle here. Okay, so once the student has done that, the student will be able to go in and will get his or her personal dashboard. And then actually the deployment is already complete. This page I've just shown you what does uh, a class dashboard look like. So the blue color tiles that you saw was the personal dashboard, and this is the class dashboard. So the student will be able to see this. In this picture, there are many more classes on the left. So this is not based on the data, which is the dummy or demo data we are giving with this book, with this deployment of this document. But this is just a picture to show you how will the class dashboard for the student look like. Okay. I've put some resources. These are some very good videos from LP Plus themselves. So I'll encourage you to go there and look at these videos. Some of what I've explained you is there. Some of what I'll show you in the demo is actually in the video. You can also use this video to train your customer where the POC is being conducted. So that's another very simple way of using this. I do understand that not everybody will be able to understand English where you might go to schools in Indonesia because these videos are in English, but perhaps you can play the video and then translate for them and step them through how to use it. Okay, so these resources you can use to learn yourself and also train or teach the customer. That's it. This is the deployment steps. Any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to know and ask? If not, I will move to the very quick demo. It should be here. And now, like I showed you, this is how the personal dashboard looks like. So remember, there are two dashboards. One is the personal dashboard, and the other one is a class dashboard. Okay. So this is the personal dashboard, and let's say suppose I'm a teacher. So I, when I come in the morning and I'm getting ready for teaching, maybe I want to check my mail, so I can pull down the mail, and this LP Plus will pull the mail in the reverse chronological order, the latest one on the top from the Outlook, and the teacher can quickly see the mail because the teacher is rushing, let's say in the morning, or the student is rushing, and they just want to see what are the latest mails coming, so they can just pull down or their calendar. Okay. However, if they want to see more detail, then they can go to this tile, and when they click, it will swing around, it will flip around, it'll show the mails. They can click and look at the mail and respond. Or if they want to actually they do have time and they really want to sit down and look at their mails, they can click this top title here, which I just clicked, and the Office 365 Outlook tool will come up. Okay, with everything. It has, all the mails the student or the teacher would have received. It has the commands on the top. They can start a new mail or they can do some action on the existing mails and so on. So complete functionality of the mail will be available to them. Okay, from here. The they may want to look at their, let's say, documents. So again, the most recently used documents will show up in the tile as soon as they click. So when you click the tile, it'll flip over. And when they click the individual documents, the online editing will come up. So this is the OneNote Online. If this was a Word document, the Word Online will come up. Now, take note, the schools that you go to where you do the POC, it may not have the Office 365 Pro Plus, which is the full rich client. So, not a problem. Full rich client is not needed. This is a online, and if I want to make some changes, for example, I wanted to um, add one more choice for my students, here I can do that. Okay, so I suddenly remembered that I want to give this quiz and I want to add something which was missing. I can do right away here. I don't need anything else online. And because this is on cloud, Office 365 cloud services, it will be saved automatically as well. There is no save required. So I can dismiss this. Now, if I as a user wanted to actually organize my stuff in OneNote, okay, um, sorry, not OneNote, OneDrive. I wanted to organize my files. Maybe I want to create a new folder, and I call it today. It's not a very good name, but anyway, I could just create it, start dragging my files there, organize my file. I can upload file from my computer, or from even a cloud location. I could sync it to my client or device where I've possibly kept the OneDrive interface. So if I want to do detail work, then I can, like I said here, I can click and go there. Or if I want to do some quick thing, I can do it from there. Okay. Another thing which the teacher might want to do is look at the assignments. So here, all the assignments are listed. Actually, not all. The top assignments which are due earliest are listed. So 28th October, then 20th, and so on. And same principle, same concept, very intuitive. If you want to look at details, the teacher wants to look at the detail of the assignment. The teacher will just click on the top and go into the assignment tool. So this assignment tool, the interface is slightly different from Office 365, but let's just give it a few seconds. Oops. Oh, why did it come up? Okay, let me dismiss this. I went to assignment, my assignments, and it will bring up the assignment interface. It's coming up now. I can already see the shadow. So there you go. So it is listing all the assignments here. I can filter, I can look at only completed ones, or I can look at pending ones. So it just gives a very quick idea of what is the kind of work that is facing us at the school today and what we have done. Okay. Now, on the left, if I go, so again, let me do it. If I just slide on the left, then the personal dashboard slides to the right, and on the left, you see the classes. Now, remember, in our deployment guide, we had example where two classes are set up. Now, here in this demo tenant I'm using, which is available to me, more classes, about 5 classes are set up. Okay, let's go explore one of them. Okay, and before we do that, let's go to the support page. This is also interesting because again, you see, you might be taking this, and I think you should take this to all kind of schools, lower primary, primary, secondary, and so on. And teachers and students out there would most likely not have IT skills and system knowledge. So if they run into problem, this technical support forum will help. So this just takes the user to LP Plus's technical support forum where there will be guides there. Again, these are all in English. There will be also announcements of changes taking place. There will be calendars, documents which they can use. And they can also put, if they like, here is the access email if they have a question or query to send to our partner LP, that is Learning Possibilities. Okay, so help is not far away in the sense it is reachable. Also of interest, please do point out and tell your customers of interest is this particular portal, Teacher Ideas. This portal gives actually is sort of a blog where people are posting how they are using LP Plus, how they are engaging their students using this kind of a tool. Okay, what are the results? What do they see and observe? So sell this idea also to your customer and tell them, like, look, you can go through this and maybe take some ideas from here, which will help you in using this with the students. Okay. I think last not least is some FAQs, which I will leave for you to explore. So let's go into one of the classes. I will just go to this class, English Year 8. Okay. Now, in English Year 8, this is what is again engaging mode tiles, colored tiles, where the uh, teachers and students can see what's going on. So, everybody in the class, according to the setup, remember we did a mapping, class mapping setup. So, everybody which was in the list will actually be able to see it. So, whosoever is in English Year 8 class will be able to see this view. Okay, so there are many things here which can be done. You have announcements there. So there is something, there is some celebration going on for the reading week. So teacher and students can always go and edit. They can, put say, congratulations message. Well done, class. Maybe there was some competition they did pretty well. And of course, you can, if you like, put a date, not necessary. If you save it, it'll start showing up with an announcement. So now your customers are actually walking into a digital classroom. So you see the latest announcement is showing up already. Okay. Similarly, like calendar. So this calendar, take note, is not now the individual or personal calendar of the student or teacher. This is the class calendar now, and that's important to point out. Okay, you okay? Okay, so far? Okay, so you see, this calendar is not an individual person's calendar, it is a class calendar because the underlying Office 365, um, the concept of modern groups, and I'll encourage you to go to the Office blog site and explore what is modern groups, will make a calendar for a group. So everything that is posted here will be visible to the group. Okay, that makes things much easier rather than some individual person posting or inviting from individual calendars and trying to put all the names. Okay, now a couple of things I want to show you. I know I'm probably over time, but I want to quickly show you is this class notebook. This is very important selling point. Very. Now, uh, this class notebook is again a set of class notebooks, right? And let me go to it and show you. This class notebook will create a notebook for every student. So based upon our deployment steps, if we had 40 students for a class, let's say English year 8, 40 students will have their individual notebooks created. Okay, so let me open that notebook and show you. Have you used OneNote before? Oh, excellent. Then it'll be much easier to understand, explain, and appreciate what you see. So you see there are three areas in this OneNote which has been created. One is the collaboration area. And in the collaboration area, you will see work that is being done by the group. So this is the group work. I wanted to go there actually. Sorry, press the wrong button. So they have done some work here. Now they means all the students together. The students have collected all this material here, a Word file, text, URL links, pictures. Um, you can even put audio, and they have put audio. I don't know if I play from here. Okay, you need a rich note for that. Anyway, right? Then the second one is the content library. In content library, the teacher will put things like circulars, tests. So in this example, you see the test is put out there. So these are the blanks, forms, circulars, information which typically are needed for teachers to give out to the students, right? So student can copy from this particular section all this information, but they cannot write it. Library only the teacher can write. All right. Then are the individual sections. So three students are shown here: Greg, Jessica, and Ryan. In their section, there are subsections which will come up in a moment. See, so they have their class notes, they have their homework, and they have the quiz. Now, if, like I said, if there are 40 students, the process of creating the OneNote here, this plus will create. everything. It'll create the collaboration area, it'll create the content library, and it'll create section for all the 40 students. That is the magic and that is the advantage which you have to tell your customers. Okay, that they don't have to set up one node for every single student. So let's say class 2, some example I'm just giving you. Okay, here are standard sections which will be given for each student. You can take out if you don't want some of the standard ones, or you can add. So for example, this school takes students for tours, so I want to have everybody a section called tours where I'll get them to write their reflections, right? And then I can hit create. Now if this class had 6 students, uh, it will create collaboration area, a content library, an individualized area with all these sections for all the 8 students. Okay, with one create command. That's very powerful. All right. I will just very quickly go through probably. So this is again OneDrive. Here the documents, and again this is not individual students OneDrive, but this is English class year 8's OneDrive. So whatever the common documents and assets which the students are using, for example, they are learning writing and reading, so reading work, comparing text, and so on. Repository to keep pictures and videos which the students might be using to do the class activities or classwork and so on. Blog area where the students would be putting their writings as producers. They are producing writings, they are putting it there. I mean, I can just go and show you there, but underlying all Office 365 SharePoint sites will be coming up. Yep. Is there a question? All right. One last thing I wanted to show you was assignment. Again, it is very similar to what we saw earlier, but here, let's say you can create assignment. And again, why do I get plus button? Because I am logged in as a teacher right now. So this person, Kenneth Cook, is a teacher. When this this particular identity is of student, and remember in your deployment steps you had applied licenses, faculty and student separately. Some of these things will not show up, so student will not be able to put the assignment or create assignments. They will have assignment, but they will not be able to create it. Okay. So I'm just exploring one last one to give you the flavor. So when you talk to your customers um, before or after POC as a training or a demo, so that they start using it, you can talk through it. Although the videos that I pointed out to you will have all this I'm telling you as well. So start date, due date of the assignment, what kind of grading, and again there are some grading systems here already because LP Plus is a global solution. It is used in many countries. So you see different countries. Some of the grading systems are put here. The teachers can add their own, which is applicable for Indonesia. You can put the title. So let's say test assignment one. You can put the assignment details here, details of actually whatever. Maybe it may be the question or whatever you are asking the students to do. You can give them resources. So again, when let's say I'm a teacher, I'm giving assignment to my student. I want to also support their learning. So I can upload, let's say, a guidance document, a document which says examples. Okay, I could load that from OneDrive. So again, this OneDrive, I believe it is OneDrive for a consumer one. Okay, so you can just attach this. Similarly, you can give templates. Now, as a teacher, if you get 40 assignments and all of them look different, it might be tough, right? So you might tell the students that you have to write 3 sections. There should be an introduction, there should be a body, and there should be a conclusion. And you can actually attach a template here if you like, so that the responses the teacher gets are sensible. Then this is the list of students in this class, and this has been set up. You know how now because that was the data in the Excel file during setup, one-time setup. So teacher can decide to give to everybody by clicking here, or they can say, okay, Greg doesn't need it, only Ryan and Jessica needs to do this repeat assignment. Okay, and then just save it. The assignment will be sent. I've not shown you the interface, but there is a assignment grading interface which is fairly more detailed. Maybe we can explore it a bit later, but this is what a class dashboard looks like, and this is the teacher's view. The student's view will be more or less same, except a lot of these plus signs will be missing because they will not have access to create things in all the tiles. Are you okay so far? Great. Actually, that's what I wanted to show and add to you. Just give me about a day. I'll send you all the documents with the sample files. There are 6 files in the LP Plus setup stage, and there are about I think another 5 or 6 files in the Office 365 onboarding part. So I can send you all those files plus the Word doc, and then that should get you started. And also the recording of this chat today we are having. Okay, Bansi, you want to add something? Sure, absolutely, absolutely. So, Bansi, one idea is you can put it under this resources, this doc when I sent you, or whatever you think is most appropriate. So, feel free to do that. Hmm? Okay. Excellent, excellent. So, yeah, you're most welcome. I'll look forward to, try and push maybe 5 or 10 in next 1 or 2 months. Yeah, and we'll be looking forward to hear the feedback and how your experience went. You're most welcome. Most welcome. Right. Bye. Bye, Mansi.